Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. We've been going deep on high school football right now, but how about some football here in the IE? We're talking Redlands FC putting the squeeze on everybody else in their inaugural season. You guys see their logo. It's awesome. We'll put it on the screen with the orange. Join us here on the show, Cody Carlson, the head coach for Redlands FC of the USL League 2. And Coach Carlson, first off, folks are watching this and they're like, well, what league is this? Where did this come from? What's this club all about? Give us a quick snapshot of what this team is and the league that they play in.
Yeah, well, first of all, Pep, thanks for having me on your show. It's an honor to be here and talk about Redlands FC. And we perform we're competing in USL League 2, which is essentially the last unpaid level. The next level up is USL League 1, where players start earning, paid contracts, right? So it's meant to be the last, amateur level, and meant to be kind of a summer league opportunity for most college players to use to develop and prepare for their upcoming college season, and also use as kind of a springboard. Hey, I had a good USL 2 season, and, now can I get more scouts and more opportunities to bump up to USL 1 and USL Championship or even MLS, right? So pretty exciting league for a lot of young U23 players. It's meant to be an under 23 league, but you can have a certain number of players who are over the age of 23. But yeah, primarily kind of a summer developmental league. That's USL 2.
So Coach, if we looked at the Redlands roster, would we see U of R guys, UCR guys, CBU guys? Like, are we talking about local guys from the local colleges at least?
Yeah, absolutely. So, being that this is our inaugural season, we kind of had to assemble the roster with local guys, right? Fortunately, I've been in Redlands for a while now, having played and now coach at the U of R. And so I brought in two of my U of R players, Ethan Kovac and Ari Magari, who had graduated, played for me for 4 years at U of R. And they had great seasons for Redlands FC. So we had two U of R guys, and then, we had actually 10 players on the roster who were born and raised in Redlands. Right. So what a cool opportunity to rep their hometowns in front of their friends and family and all the fans, in Redlands, right? And then we supplemented the roster with other college guys, a handful of guys from UC Riverside, a handful from Cal Baptist, a handful from Cal Poly Pomona, who's a top Division II, and then a handful of other guys, Cal State Fullerton guy Jose Espino, and then Sebastian Asensio at Cal State Dominguez Hills. So yeah, just kind of all over, but it's a really cool collection. But definitely the core had that tick the box with have some sort of association to Redlands, which made it special.
Yeah, and you guys are winning in your inaugural season with the local guys. I mean, that must be rewarding as well, these guys winning in their own backyard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you would have told me when I took this job, in January, hey, yeah, you're going to win the Southwest Division in your inaugural season, I said, okay, yeah, that would be a pie in the sky type of dream, but here we are and we've done it, right? But I tip my hat to the players and, to my assistant coaches as well, who couldn't have done it without them. But, the buy-in that we had from our guys and, the crowd and the fan support, as well as, our ownership group that really got this thing up and running has been phenomenal, right? And pretty much could not have asked for a better inaugural season.
You guys are winning. You get to the playoffs. The fan support is unbelievable locally. Can you speak to that, just about how the community has rallied behind this team? I've seen the pictures. You got big crowds out there at Dodge Stadium.
It's awesome. It is, when the club was announced, there was a supporters group called the I-10 Ultras that just said, we're here too. Like, we didn't know them beforehand or anything. It's just a collection of local guys and families that said, you know what, there's a club in our own backyard and we want to support it. Right? How cool is that? I mean, that's incredible. I think that's, just kind of a little bit about the Redlands community in itself, right? And so, but yeah, man, I mean, the crowd has been phenomenal. They're the 12th man for sure at Dodge Stadium. We've had a handful of games with, I think 12, 13, 1,400 people, for our first season. That's pretty darn cool, we think. So our guys love it. I mean, and certainly in those games that were on the line and we pulled out a win, certainly like the other night, to clinch the Southwest Division title in front of all those people, waving the flags, Redlands FC flags. I mean, it's awesome. It's such a cool moment.
And then it's still going. The season rolls on. Friday night, you got a playoff match here in Redlands, Dodge Stadium. So are you excited about that? And who knows? I mean, how far can this team take it?
Man, that was part of my messaging to the group was, look, when you get in these moments, these opportunities, they don't always come around as often as you'd like, right? You'd like to be competing for, titles every year in, year out, and playoffs year in, year out. It just doesn't always work like that, except for the most elite programs and teams, right? So I told them, take advantage of it. Let's jump on this opportunity and just ride this thing as far as we can go, right? What a cool moment. What a cool story. Let's make it happen. So Friday night, San Francisco Glens coming down to play Redlands. Welcome to the Inland Empire Heat, San Francisco Glens. Let's see how you manage that. They're a good team. And I know it'll be a phenomenal game, and would love as many fans as we can get out to that playoff game on this Friday night. That's going to be really special.
Man, that is home pitch advantage right there. You're going to leave 62 degrees for like 102 degrees or whatever it's going to be on Saturday or Friday night.
Yeah, on the hot turf too. Yeah.
Well, Coach,
home field advantage.
You mentioned USL League Two. It's like a springboard, right, to continue to go in the professional ranks. Like beyond this is the pros. You leave that amateur status behind you, but using this as the springboard. Obviously, if you're on a winning team, if you win a championship, those things, that's got to catch other clubs' eyes, right? Like you mentioned, maybe MLS is the top of the pyramid, at least here, in the United States. Is that messaging to the guys, at least in terms of, guys, let's keep winning. If we keep winning, if we can win a title, that's only going to help you guys in the long run too. Clubs are going to look at you guys and be like, this guy's a winner. He won a title. They won a championship.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's on the minds of our guys. They're playing USL 2 because not only do they want to get better as players and help them, for their upcoming fall college seasons, but eventually, yeah, I want to see how far I can go and keep the playing dream alive as long as you can. If you can earn a paid contract, then you do that until your legs can't play anymore, right? So yeah, it's on the forefront of a lot of our guys, and we've had for sure one USL 1 scout come out to watch us train and kind of evaluate some players and talk with me about what I think about players and stuff like that. So it's definitely, certainly the pathway, and want it to be more of a springboard. I think we do have a handful of guys that in a couple years, maybe sooner, maybe later, we'll be playing in, USL 1 or championship level, or maybe eventually MLS. Yeah. But I think they still got some work to do to get there. But hey, keep working. Maybe it can happen. So
hey, maybe you got the next Landon Donovan on your squad, man.
Hey, maybe a late bloomer, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
right. Yeah, my wife. Full disclosure, my wife is a Redlands High grad, so I know he was in Redlands briefly before he turned pro and started traveling, doing that thing. But I remember she said, "Oh yeah, I used to cheer at his soccer games, like his freshman year."
Yep.
Long time ago. Well, Coach, I don't want to look too far into the future because you guys still have this season. You got a playoff match on Friday night, but does this get you excited about just the future of local soccer and the future of this club? Just seeing the community support, just in your first season, the way you guys were able to win with local guys. Does it get you excited about what's on the horizon maybe for this club?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we knew that we had something, kind of special in the beginning stages. Just in my initial conversations with our co-owners, I think, hey, these guys have a vision about what they want this club to be. And I think, me being in Redlands now for the last, decade is kind of like, yeah, this is a town that will rally together for a new club like this. So obviously having a tremendous winning season, that's not going to hurt, right? That's only going to help, and hopefully rally more fans and more support, and try to grow this thing over the next few years, and see how far and how big we can get it and get it going, right? But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Still focused on finishing out this season, how far we can go in playoffs. So.
And finally, Coach, I'm always intrigued by the dynamic of, like you said, this is a summer league, so you're getting guys from a bunch of different schools, and they're coming together. You probably don't have a whole lot of time to get these guys on the same page and, all pushing forward in the same direction to win a championship. As the head coach, I mean, how challenging, how fun, what's it like? Again, taking guys from all these different schools and getting them on the same page in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's a great question. And, for me, this has been a tremendous, growth experience for me personally, because, I've been the assistant coach at U of R for a long time now, and do head coach in a youth club. But this is my first real test of a high level, pre-professional, amateur level, head coaching role at USL2. So it's been great for me, but certainly challenging and awesome at the same time, right? So there's been so many players, because the nature of it, it's summer, so some players are either have availability differences, or injuries happen, or illness, or some players even had to leave to go back to their colleges already to begin kind of working with their teams and stuff like that. So you start to lose players to, go back to their college season. So really a challenge, and it's constantly a fluid thing of how do we get all these guys to kind of buy into the same messaging and the same thing and the same style of play. Because they're whatever college program they're at, they're probably going to play a different style, right? So it's about trying to read our personnel and how each guy fits within the system that we want to try to play. And obviously we were able to figure something out, something clicked. And like I was alluding to earlier, and I'll say it again, but just the collection of guys from Redlands who already knew each other, a handful of them had already been coached by me. So, we kind of already had those relationships built, and those relationships helped kind of, keep the cohesiveness of the group together. And, obviously we did something really, really awesome and want to keep it going.
Yeah, it's not done yet. Friday night, Dodge Stadium, Redlands FC taking on San Francisco. Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. Congrats on the season so far, but let's pack the house on Friday night and see how far you guys can take this.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate you having me on.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go Redlands FC.
Redlands FC head coach Cody Carlson here on the Inland Sports Show.